Hey, second graders. This is history. We're on week 2. This could be done day 1 and or day 2. If it takes you a couple days to do it, that's perfectly fine. So you'll need your textbook, your green anthology for history. We're going to read pages 142 through 149 together. Then you're going to have out your practice pages 22 and 23. And again, this could be done over a 2-day period if you would prefer. So you can get those items ready and come back. Okay, we're going to start with page 142 in your anthology. And what is it entitled? Find states and capitals. That's right. Why does it matter? Our country has how many states? 50, right. How many are on the mainland? 48, right. And then you have Alaska and you have Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean. California is one of the largest states. You see a little picture there in the excerpt of Alaska. And down the bottom of your page, you see Hawaii out there in the Pacific Ocean. And then you have your 50 states. So let's look on page 143. If you look at the key or the map legend at the bottom of the map, down there right below Florida, you'll see that a little circle with a star in it names the nation's capital, of which there's only one, and that's in Washington, D.C. If you can find that, that's kind of a Where's Waldo sort of a hunt. And then you see just the star by itself is state capital. Every state has a capital. Do you remember the capital of California? Sacramento, that's right. And then the solid black lines are borders between the states and then between the countries. Canada on our north, Mexico on our south. So let's read at the top of page 143. You can find cities and states on a map. A capital is a city in which the government of a state or country meets. A border is a line that shows where a state or a country ends. So to practice a skill, number 1, find California on the map. Ooh, put your finger on it, find the star, and you see the city of Sacramento, our capital. What states are found along the border of California? We'll go up to the northern part of California. That orange state is Oregon. And then you come down our eastern border, you have Nevada. And then you go down our southeastern border and you see Arizona, right? So we are bordered by 3 states, Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona. Okay, so you right now then are going to take out your practice page 22. You can pause the video, take that out, get your heading on it. Alrighty, welcome back. Make sure you have your heading on the top of practice page 22. If you're good to go with this, you can do it on your own. Otherwise, if you need me to help you with the reading, you could stay with me. It says, look at the map and then answer the questions. So, number 1, what is the capital of New Mexico? So you look for the state of New Mexico, find the little star, and copy that. Santa Fe. Make sure you're starting Santa with a capital S, not related to Santa Claus, and Fe with a capital F, okay? And then finish the word, Santa Fe. Number 2, which western states share a border with California? So if you take a look on the little map that you have there, not our big map, on your worksheet, you only see 2 states that border California, and that is Arizona and Nevada. Just make sure you're capitalizing both of those, Arizona and Nevada. And number 3, of which state is Sacramento the capital? So which state is Sacramento in? And it's the capital. Of course, that's our state, California. And you don't need to capitalize. You probably shouldn't capitalize every letter. You just capitalize the first letter. They have every letter capitalized because it is a diagram or a map, and that's okay to do that. Okay? So go ahead and set that aside. Save it for later. And turn in your anthology to page 144. It says Our National Government. I sent you guys a link to I can't think of, Schoolhouse Rock, and they have some pretty cool little videos to watch. I think they're called the 3 branches of the government. I sent you a couple, so that'd be great for you to take a look at when you're done here. So let's go ahead and read. Our country's government has 3 parts or branches, and you guys have seen the little tree I have in the back of the room over there, which I should have brought over here. Just as community and state governments do. The legislative branch makes the laws. Think of legislature, laws. The executive branch carries out the laws. And the judicial branch makes sure the laws are fair. So the legislative branch would be your Congress, your Senate. The executive branch is your president, and the judicial branch are the judges. And there you see a little picture of the White House. You notice the White House does not have what on the top? It does not have a dome, right? That is the home of the president. And then you see the Washington Monument is that tall spire with the point on the top. You see the Supreme Court where the judges carry out their responsibilities. And then you see the Capitol building, which is the president's offices and where the legislature and all of them work. So let's read the green box. The capital of our country is Washington, D.C. The White House, the Capitol building, and the Supreme Court are located there. Memorials and monuments on the National Mall honor past presidents and war heroes. And then you see a little section of the map of the United States enlarged because Washington, D.C. is so tiny. So it's right there between Maryland and Virginia. You can go ahead and turn the page. Page 146. Congress, the legislative branch, makes the laws. The members of Congress are chosen by citizens of all 50 states. So if this was like a tree with 3 branches, and we call this the legislative branch, one of those leaves that grows on that branch would be the Congress. Very hard to see. Congress. We vote for the members of the Congress. Your parents, anybody 18 and over gets to vote for the members of the Congress. Besides making laws, they also decide on the taxes that people will pay. A tax is money paid to the government. It pays for things that citizens need, such as schools, police protection, and libraries. When your parents get a paycheck every week or 2 weeks, they have taxes taken out of what they've earned, and that goes to the government to pay for these sort of things. So look at the green box. It shows a picture of the National Guard, and they will help during emergencies. And then the blue box, it says many members of the armed forces serve out in other countries. And then on page 147, it talks about the president. In the United States, citizens choose a president. The president's job is to carry out the laws and make sure that the country is a good place to live. That would be the executive branch, and that big leaf is the president. He is the executive of our country. And election. An election is an event in which citizens choose leaders. The citizens of our country decide who will be president and who will be in the Congress. That's a picture of President Bush taking his oath of office where he promises to work for the people, and that is a few presidents ago. And President Ronald Reagan, who was before Bush, said, "We will always remember, we will always be proud, we will always be prepared so that we may always be free." Next page. Now you have the Supreme Court. So that branch on my beautiful tree is the judicial branch. And that would be the Supreme Court. That is the highest court in the land. That's the top, as high as you can get. We've talked about the Supreme Court before. Those are 9 judges that are on the Supreme Court for life unless they retire or pass away. The Supreme Court decides on laws for the entire country. It has 9 judges. Each must be chosen by the president. That's why it's so important for people to choose the president, especially if they know they're going to choose some of the members of the Supreme Court. Each must be chosen by the president and agreed to by the Congress. It has to pass through there. The president is not king. He's not the last word. The Congress has to agree with the president. These judges make sure that the laws match what is in the Constitution. The Constitution, speaking of which we have talked about, there's a little section, the preamble, is the written set of rules that the government must follow. It was written a long time ago at the beginning of our country, the birth of our nation. It explains how our government is to work. Very important document. Okay, on page 149, it says the Constitution also lists the rights of all United States citizens, our freedoms, our rights of press, of religion, a lot of things like that. New rights and laws are added to the Constitution when they are needed. Now, to summarize, would you read with me? Congress, the President, and the Supreme Court work together to make and carry out laws for the United States. So you can flip over to practice page 23. We'll take a look at that. You don't need your heading on that unless it's a separate piece of paper. I'm not sure, so you know you've got it there. So go ahead and head it if you need to. And we're going to read the sentences and fill in the lines from words from the box. You'll notice that this word bank is shaped like what? It's shaped like the Capitol, so that's pretty cool. What have you got? You've got President, Supreme Court, Congress, Constitution, 3, and rights. Number 1, our country's government has branches. How many branches? President, Supreme Court, Congress, Constitution, 3 are rights. If you want to put a little number by the answer and go back later and copy it when you have more time, do that. Number 2, the written set of rules for our government is called it's that big document, starts with a capital C. You're right, the Constitution. So you could put a little number 2 by the word Constitution. It's right under Congress, Constitution, and write it later. The lives and works in the White House. This is the person who lives and works in the White House. He is the executive on the executive branch. And you notice it has to be capitalized, President. It is a proper noun. Number 4, is the branch of government that makes the laws. The branch that makes the laws. The Congress, capital C. The make sure all the laws agree with the Constitution. That's the judicial branch. The what? Supreme Court. Both of those words are capitalized. And number 6, the Constitution says that all Americans have certain what? Go ahead and write that. It's the only one left, certain rights. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for that.